Good evening, I'm John Major.
I'm Kim Webby.
Hey, welcome to Newsnight. Coming up, the album that has already stormed the British charts. We check out super siblings Neil and Tim's new album called Finn.
The ultimate in armchair art. We take you inside the Auckland gallery that's gone online.
Goodness. And is it art or butchery? The carcass creation, it's enraged animal rights activists. First though, Kim in the news.
Stormy scenes as conflicting causes divide demonstrators. The drama came at an Auckland rally attacking British Prime Minister John Major for his support of France. Māori nationalists were accused of hijacking the anti-nuclear rally. Maramena Roderick was there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here at a peace rally. For God's sake, you wouldn't behave.
A major fallout amongst protesters today. The anti-John Major rally hijacked when Māori protesters wouldn't leave the stage.
I haven't finished it. I've got 2 minutes to make my speech.
The 2,000 other ralliers weren't impressed.
We want her! We want her!
Pushing Pam around. She's supposed to be MC.
Peace, everyone. I came here to protest against the nuclear testing and against John Major. That's why I'm here.
It was Winston Peters who finally calmed the crowd.
Gentlemen, I want to first of all thank the organisers of this vote today and to say straight up that they don't deserve this. Don't tell me about sacrifice.
Everywhere and anywhere is an appropriate place for those views.
There was a bit of almost a female scrag fight there for a second. There were some muttered words, but that doesn't matter. We're a land of strong opinions. It's a fairly voluble time, and we're on with it.
And back to the anti-nuclear message.
If Major does not get the message, I think he should be committed to a mental asylum.
Unity at the end against their nuclear enemies.
Meanwhile, John Major himself stuck to his guns today, refusing to condemn France for its nuclear tests. In a busy day of top-level meetings, Mr Major's message remained unchanged.
Our position is that we are not going to condemn France. I have said that repeatedly, and it remains the position.
Mr Major expects a hard time while he's here for Choggum. Britain stands out as the main country not to criticise France. A Southland fisherman is tonight beginning a life sentence for murder. An Invercargill jury found Rex Haig guilty after 9 hours of deliberations. The jury decided the skipper killed one of his crew because he knew too much about a Poa smuggling operation. Suzanne Bunny reports.
Rex Haig, the 48-year-old defendant, arriving at court this morning. He'd been in custody more than a year, charged with murdering Mark Roderick at remote Jacksons Bay in February last year. The jury heard that Roderick, a crew member on Haig's fishing boat Antares, was battered to death on board because he knew too much about plans to smuggle power overseas. The other 2 crew members, both granted immunity from prosecution, testified that Haig dumped the bound and weighted body overboard. It's never been found. The defence said their evidence was lies. In an unusual aspect of the case, evidence was read out from a man who has allegedly been murdered himself and his body dumped here near Lumsden. But tonight, the jury decided it was Rex Haig who was responsible for the death of Mark Roderick.
Overseas, and a rare royal break with convention by Princess Diana, who allowed a passerby's kiss. During a walkabout in Liverpool, she was pecked on the cheek by a young man, allegedly with a history of mental illness. But local police say Diana was in no danger, dismissing the kiss as a cheeky gesture from a harmless well-wisher. And hardly harmless if you're a tree. David Foster's downright dangerous with an axe in his hand. The Tasmanian tree chopper's been winning international titles for 20 years. Now he's come down under to show us Kiwis how it's done. Brent Fraser went to watch.
As an axeman, David Foster's no lightweight. He's notched up more than 150 world titles. And as a person, he's no ordinary bloke either.
I'm 196 centimetres, or 6'4", and I'm 155 kgs, which is about 24.5 stone.
The Tasmanian admits his size is an advantage, but says it still takes good technique and a razor-sharp axe to make world champion.
You can actually shave with them. I actually do, as you can see. Every morning I shave my hair.
A frightening prospect to some, but not to the Foster family.
I don't consider it's a dangerous sport. My son's been chopping ever since he was 2 with an axe. They grow up with them, they know how to handle them, and there aren't really that many accidents.
Perhaps not too many accidents, but sometimes even the world's best axeman can have an off day.
Still on the edge of danger, it's not quite as risky as the running of the bulls in Spain, but Christchurch's running of the rams is still proving a real dag rattler. John Selwood joined the woolly racers.
The ultimate challenge of courage and cunning, ram versus man and dog. They've been training for months for this gruelling dash through downtown Christchurch.
The last week we were doing a bit of speed work. They've just come down from altitude and it's really made a difference. Picked their speed up pretty well.
The rattle of dags is a far cry from the thunder of hooves you expect in Spain, but then so are the rules. In Pamplona, the bulls chase the people. In Christchurch, it's the other way round.
Away they go, Kevin's still out in front.
While it's not quite the same rush as running from a bull, tourists didn't seem to mind.
We especially came from Germany to see this race here, you know.
I just don't believe you. While the shepherds put up a valiant struggle, the rams were victorious. The big difference between here and Pamplona is that there, the people are nervous. Here, it's the sheep.
That's the news, Marcus.
Hey, very good. Hey, after the break, and watch carefully because there's some bloody good bargains out there at the moment, we take you on an armchair tour of the exhibition that's gone online, and holy cow, is it art or butchery?
We'll come and see it. Damien's work has great gut appeal, I think, if I could call it that.
Welcome back here with Newsnight. Later on tonight I'll be boring people stupid with stories about Brownie's Bar, but before that we'll be hearing all about the chart-topping new album Finn from guess who? Quiet, Jill, Neil and Tim. All that and more a little later. Here's Kim.
Thanks, Marcus. If you're a couch potato looking for cultural enrichment, here's an exhibition for you. Auckland's Fox Gallery has launched its latest exhibition internationally on the net. Robert Yonke's Take a Seat is a very complex artistic statement, but all you need to do to soak it up is click a few buttons. We logged on to find out more.
Hello Newsnight. Welcome to the Fox Gallery.
Well, it was an initiative between myself and Jane Sutherland, and I could perceive it as being a viable way of showing New Zealand art to a wider audience.
Get on it.
It's actually about spreading information, so I now I'll be able to do it in a much more effective way, so I can send images off internationally and people can come and look at what is here and people can use it for study purposes.
We are the first gallery to be actively selling work worldwide, and we invite email responses solely to that effect. So we haven't got any phone numbers or fax numbers. We are actively looking at having all the response via email.
If I've got an architect who wants to perhaps look at what sort of work to put in a building, even within their own model, we can actually do that on the computer. And if that is sort of within the Asian Pacific region, I'd really like to be able to sort of start sending images off, and it's much easier than just sort of firing off the photographs. I can do it that way.
We've had a number of people from Europe popping in. New York's been a good response rate, and I think it's quite applicable, the type of work that we're showing to the audience there. It's a revolving exhibition. There'll be different artists featuring in different months. The exhibition that's on now will be archived for constant browsing. It won't go away. People will be able to browse previous exhibitions. here to start the tour? Well, firstly, we want to know about the artist. So you can see an image downloading here. It's slightly animated, and it tightens up in resolution, so you can quickly see the type of artist that you're reading about here. And this is his statement. It's his whole concept and thinking on what he's done. So we launch into the first piece of artwork, and it downloads through my modem relatively quickly. So if at any stage we wanted to know the price of a work of art, we can skip back to the main menu and click on this pricing button here and see that that work is $5,500. We have 6 works of art displayed here, and then we follow on with a few other works of art from the artist that aren't in the current exhibition. So if you did want to see more of the same artist, we've included it here as a bonus offer, if you like.
Well, I'm really surprised to see people find it really exciting too.
We hope to drag them pointing and clicking into the 90s with this medium.
Now, if you want, and some of you will, before you ring, if you want to take a closer look at the exhibition, get your pen or your pencil or your modem or whatever ready. Here is the address. And that's blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's going to take them hours to write that down. I mean, they'll still be going to the top drawer looking for the pen and paper. What do we do now? I haven't got any jokes either. Except for the... That won't be long enough, will it? They'll ring up. They'll ring all day tomorrow.
I think I'd rather just go and see it at the gallery anyway. Might as well.
They say the trouble with the internet is that no one's ever found a use for it. You know, there's nothing to do. Like, would you go and spend $5 buying art on a computer?
No, I think you'd want to see it in real life.
That's if you actually managed
First of all.
No, it'd be about... Is that enough?
Okay.
Brilliant.
Well, in the UK, the endless debate of is it art is currently raging over a particularly in-your-face artwork being displayed in a strengthened tank at the Tate Gallery. Pleasantly enough titled Mother and Child Divided, the works enraged animal rights activists and anyone entertaining the thought of having their evening meal after a gallery tour. Is it art or is it butchery? Whatever, it's been shortlisted for this year's Turner Prize, one of Britain's major art awards. Its creator's Damien Hirst. Last year he brought us the sheep in a tank controversy. This year he's upped the stakes and sliced a cow and calf in two.
I think people will come and see it. Damien's work has great gut appeal, I think, if I could call it that.
Today was the first day the exhibit has been open to the public, and gallery staff report reactions ran the gamut from kids screaming yuck to a more thoughtful excellent. They say its confrontational nature is typical of Damien's work, and to those who are still wondering, yes, it is art.
So it's a work which makes you think about the mother and child relationship and about the fact that mothers and children are inevitably separated, and about the ultimate tragedy, which can be premature in some cases, that they're separated by death, and we're all separated by death.
Despite its sentiments, it's made animal rights activists' blood run cold. They'll protest against the use of dead animals in art. For others, well, it's just a matter of deciding whether Hirst is headed for a career in art or at the freezing works.
Yes, you do. Hey, still to come, philately fun, and they've stormed the charts in Britain, lending themselves a legal wrangle over the name. Now hear the real story behind Finn.
Back in Auckland, after 37 years, the Finn brothers come out of the closet.
There's a wild thing in the woodshed and it's keeping me awake at night.
Actor Katharine Hepburn is 86 today. In 1888, Tamworth, New South Wales, became the first town in the Southern Hemisphere to be lit by electricity. And Dylan Thomas died in New York, aged 39, on this day in 1953.
Golly, you're with Newsnight. Now, apart from upsetting a second-rate British band by using their own name for the new album, the Finn Brothers CD called Finn has already run over the critics and made its mark on the British charts, where it debuted at number 15 a few weeks ago. And it's expected to do even better here when it's released on Monday. Why we get to hear it after the Poms, I think, is a public disgrace, but never mind. Here's some pictures and noise designed to help sell some records and to keep you viewers watching. 70s and 80s, split ends ruled New Zealand's music scene. The Finn brothers, our rock and roll royalty. But back then it was Tim, not Neil, who stood firmly in the spotlight, on stage and off.
On my right, on bass guitar, all the way from Hatfield, England, Nigel Griggs. Next to Nigel, we have Malcolm Green, who comes from Southgate, just out of London. Next to him, we have Mr. Noel Crombie, who actually comes from Wellington. We have Eddie Rayner standing there from Howick. How are we? And Neil Finn from Te Awamutu, and myself, I'm Tim, and I come from Te Awamutu too. Thank you.
But everything changed in the early 80s when Neil wrote and sung the band's international smash hit, I Got You. After Split Ends, Split Up, Tim launched a mildly successful solo career, while Neil's Crowded House went into mega-selling orbit. A decade later, the brothers reunited, with Tim joining Crowded House for the Woodface album. 4 years later, Tim and Neil went on holiday and came back with an album all their own.
Endless travel, can't remember where I've been.
We came to Rarotonga October 94 to get inspired and prepare for our record. While Tim was screaming around the island on his scooter, he took a tumble on some loose gravel and the barefoot nurse at the hospital said, "So, you kissed the road to Rarotonga?" Back in Auckland, after 37 years, the Finn brothers come out of the closet.
There's a whopping in the woodshed and it's keeping me awake at night. The devil in the closet and a feeling I prefer to hide. Nothing in the eyes of the world.
One of the great joys of making this record was getting to play all the instruments ourselves. Tim got on the good foot, debuting as a drummer, and I got to play bass, something which we both coveted greedily over the years.
We get a lot of the Irish, the passion for music and the Irish thing from Mum. But Dad, I reckon, definitely the groove. But he gets this mood comes on him and he dances, and he's a very good dancer. Everything about this record was spontaneous and enjoyable. We spent about a week writing, a month recording, went in with the songs relatively unformed, and with Chad's help we soon whipped them into shape, so they're at that nice stage of being fresh and not overworked. I think you can hear that in the tracks.
It may seem a long way from the silly suits and the wacky haircuts of the Split Ends days, but musically, maybe the Finn album takes them closer to their roots than ever before.
Early influences, musically speaking, I think probably late 60s English music. A lot of good groups came out of England in the late 60s. The Beatles was one of them, The Move, The Kinks, bands like that, with good songs, with really rocky sort of arrangements, and that's what we try and do, good songs with strong melodies.
I remember how it felt. Kisses slowly rising on the air. Left our weightless on the air, on the air.
The album Finn is out on Monday, hurrah, and yes, it was Dylan Thomas interviewing the band in that lovely teal suit. Now for tonight's All You Need to Know. She may be best known for singing her heart out and giving a cat the full Nelson, but now thanks to some canny art students, Dame Kitty, it was also pretty convincing with a handgun. With a clever use of 40-cent stamps, some Elam art students in Auckland have done what generations of arty-farty types have failed to do before. They made us laugh while stitching up one of the worst set of stamps in our nation's history. Top effort. And also encouraging the best of human endeavours is British bikie rag Street Fighter. Listen to this, get this, listen to this. It says it'll reward any readers caught speeding at more than 225 kilometres per hour with a free magazine subscription. Horrific and irresponsible is how the Thin Blue Line sees it, but according to the mag, its speedster readers are already out there breaking the law. The offer is just to give them something to read once they've been banned and are taking the bus. And finally, proof that the desire to do a runner doesn't just affect the financially challenged. Madonna, with all her squillions, has done a dine and dash from a London cafe. And not just any cafe, it's a charity-run eatery, no less. Not been one to just enjoy a pint and a pie down the local. Our Maddie went for some veggie nosh at the Country Life Cafe, run by the 7-day bike riders, as you do. Her bill came to a measly $7.50, but instead of paying, she told the waiter, "I like it here, you know. My beliefs are similar to Krishna's." Didn't realise Krishna couldn't sing. Anyway, that's tonight's information. How's your father? Here's Kim. Oh, what's tomorrow's weather?
Oh, thanks, Marcus.
As you do.
Well, no singing in the rain tomorrow. You can put the brollies away and walk to work. A few wayward clouds, but it should be mainly sunny in most places. Warm once again. Gisborne hits a sweltering 24. New Plymouth and Wellington reach 17. An even brighter picture across the strait. Sun smothers the island, but for a rainy patch around Fiordland. Top there's 22 for Blenheim, dropping to 17 in Hokitika.
No show tomorrow because there'll be no car parks, all this chogum carry on, and we've overdone it on a bit on the taxi chits. But we'll be back next week, and among other things, we'll be checking out the fabulous designs in this year's Future Designer Wool Awards. Gosh. Never liked wool that close to the skin.
But you can do all that with a sheep, not just run them through the streets of Christchurch.
That's exactly right. You don't have to eat it too to enjoy the wool, do you?
No, that's right.
Because we all know meat is murder, isn't it?
Maybe wearing wool is murder too.
Well, that's exploitation, isn't it?
It's too much.
Don't send us any brochures about vivisection too. They depress me. That's it from us. Good night. Meat's a murder.
Falling